Greetings, fellow humans. Today I'm going to mix everything up from what I've been doing for the past few days. And today we're going to be doing a versus between Star Wars Battlefront 2015 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017. Okay? Okay. Did I say my intro? Okay, greetings, fellow humans. Let's get underway. So how I'm going to base this off is, first we're going to cover the, basically the launch of the game, which for both of them wasn't that good, so that might be almost a tie. Anyway, let's start with the launch. Star Wars Battlefront 2015 was highly anticipated because the previous Battlefront games, like between the cancellation of Battlefront 3 and the reboot, it was just like kind of mobile games, and they were like PS Vita, like the handheld, like kind of like a DS or something like that. It was mainly those, and they weren't that good because they were pretty much just cheap knockoffs, even though they were made by the same company. Yeah, so after Disney bought Lucasfilm, there was a highly anticipated reboot by EA and DICE, which looked amazing. It still does. Even the next one, they both look amazing, honestly. And so it was highly anticipated, but then we immediately figured out it was just original trilogy. Most people accepted that as fine, but then as the game kind of settled in, it started to become a problem because there wasn't that much stuff to do in-game. So it started with 4 planets, which was Tatooine, Hoth, Solist, which is where Nine Numb's planet is, which was kind of an oddball. It was in the Battlefront Twilight Company book, so I guess it's canon, obviously. And the 4th map was Endor. Now, the maps all looked amazing, but it was just those 4, and they had a couple modes, but all the modes were kind of lackluster, and they were kind of mixed bag. And it also had no campaign mode. Now, a few games here and there don't have a campaign mode, which most people just kind of forget about the campaign. If it's multiplayer, they usually just go through the campaign once or twice, maybe not even at all, and they just get it out of the way so they can play everything else. It didn't have it, and people were kind of upset about it, but most people just kind of got over it. At launch, there was almost nothing to do. There was only 3 heroes, and 3 heroes, 3 villains. And that was Darth Vader, the Emperor, Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. That was all. And then they added more and more with the DLCs and the Season Pass, which you had to pay for. May the 4th, that year, they added the Survivors of Endor, Jakku, the Graveyard of Giants. They added all the smaller maps for them, and the Twilight on Hoth, which they still look amazing, but they would never added any of them back into the other game, which doesn't really matter at all. It really doesn't. But that wasn't at launch, so people were relatively unhappy at launch. But for offline players, which everyone starts out as, including myself. Well, for offline gamers, there was nothing to do. Like, there was just a few missions that, like, in a survival mode, but besides that, there was nothing to do. They added a skirmish mode later, but that was a heap of garbage. They did kind of update the AI here and there, but it wasn't anything major. So, yeah, Battlefront 2015 didn't have a great launch. So, if I had to rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it maybe a 6. It was highly anticipated, but it was there, but it didn't quite meet it. You know what I mean? So, that's what I rank for Battlefront 1 2015. Now, when it comes to 2017, I was really into this one. I played the beta for this one. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the other ones. the betas were highly anticipated, and they were really different from the actual game. I remember playing the Battlefront 2 beta in 2017 in October. It was really different from what the game actually turned out to be, and it still is very different from what the game was at launch, which is obvious with most games, especially games made by EA. So this one got off to kind of a media kind of trend about how bad it was. So first of all, you only had like 5 heroes that you could actually play as at the beginning. Other than that, you had to play like 100 hours of gameplay, or you had to do pay to win, because the crate system and everything, which eventually got taken down, it's now just like a daily crate. All you get is like 500 credits, and that's nothing. I'll get to that in a second. And how they kind of fix their patches. That might be the next one, or the final one. Because this one fixed its patches, the other one didn't really, but they learned from their mistakes, and I think most people kind of said they got worse. It had a much greater hero selection because it had all 3 trilogies up to this point. And the crate system was broken. It was pay to win. Battlefront 2015 was also kind of pay to win, but whatever. Oh yeah, also for the 2015 one, it's like you can make your own character basically, which like the star card things. It was they kind of used it again in 2017, but it was edited. But yeah, for the 2015 one, it was also kind of broken because a couple of them were just so bad, and some of them were just completely broken when it comes to overpowered. Yeah, but this one, it was basically pay to win, and most of the heroes were locked. The first hero I ever unlocked was Iden Versio. Because of the campaign, it was very lackluster, I will say that, but it did look okay. It didn't play okay, because it was really different from the trailers, which most movies typically are. But from the trailer to then, they went through so many rewrites. It is completely unrecognizable. You don't even play as the Empire. Spoiler alerts are, it's been out for like 3 years. So you guys should probably know. So, sorry to spoil it for you guys. Just skip this area if you don't want to get it spoiled, but it's been out for like 3 years, and I think I've already mentioned it once. So, anyway, Iden goes to the Rebellion, well, now the New Republic, like 3 missions in. Wait, 4 missions in. And then she's Rebellion the rest of it, which is kind of sad, because the trailers, like the first reveal trailer, but they went through the rewrites. The first trailer, I thought it was going to be really good, because she goes all the way to the First Order, and she's still a commander. She hasn't, she's still fighting on. She's not giving up. But no, she turns on them, and then she's killed by friendly fire in the Resurrection DLC. I'm not kidding. Sorry, spoilers. But the game's 3 years old. You guys should probably know at this point. The Inferno Squad book, I've heard is okay. I haven't been able to read it yet. Same with the Twilight Company one. I've just heard they're both okay. But yeah, Vader. Yeah, the first hero I unlocked was Iden because it was the cheapest one, and also you got a whole bunch of credits from it. You got a bunch of credits from just completing it, and then it was just enough. And it was just enough to scratch by and unlock Iden. Which, most people don't even care about Iden Versio in multiplayer, since I do play multiplayer a lot. No one cares about Iden anymore. It's like, everyone wants to play Vader. I know, me especially, whenever I'm the heroes, if no one takes Anakin Skywalker, I am Anakin Skywalker 9 times out of 10. And if no one takes Vader, not a lot of people take Vader anymore. He's an absolute tank in game. He has 900 health. No one else gets anywhere near that. I think Maul is 600 health, and it's there's a huge gap between him and everyone else. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm a villain, I'm probably Vader or Dooku. Because they added Dooku in later, he was just okay. Yeah, so Vader, Luke, Han, Boba Fett, couple of them were locked, so you couldn't do anything unless you actually unlocked them, which was really bad for players like me. But but they did give us like a bunch of apology credits, like 50,000 credits. It's for like doing it, and then most people were kind of hibernated from the game. I know I did for like a few months, and then when I came back, boom, everything's different. I was able to get myself in, but the Han Solo season was just that bad. So this one at launch was a complete dumpster fire. Like, I mean, like the dumpster on fire. That was how much turmoil they were in. So for this one, I rank it a 4 out of 10, even though it kind of did a little bit better than, well, it did worse than the previous one, but the gameplay was aesthetically a little bit better than the previous one. So when it comes to the launch, Battlefront 2015 gets a surprising victory there. Anyway, let's get on to round 2. So for round 2, we have gameplay. Now, the gameplay in both of them is pretty good. There's in some places where it could be desired, but since Battlefront 2 2017 is still being supported by the DICE team. The game is getting better, and they are doing a lot of good balancing. Like all the heroes are pretty balanced. Like, Anakin went from completely overpowered to down to everyone else's level. And there's no real bad hero or villain anymore. I see like people playing Chewbacca almost every game, or Finn, and no one played them like a month ago. So that's how good they balanced them. They're all like in a group, and they're like almost the same, and it's different every time. Like comparing on the players or what level you're on. But let's just say you're level 10 on every hero. Oh, if so, like everyone's level 10 on all their heroes, like whatever they do, and they all have purple star cards. That's gonna be an excellent game for heroes versus villains. But for Battlefront 2015, most of the heroes were blaster heroes. They only had 4 force users if you count Leia. There was only 2 lightsaber users, which was Luke and Vader. And then Leia technically can use the Force, so she's technically Force wielder. And the Emperor. Besides that, there's no other Force users. The rest of them are just blaster heroes. The blaster heroes are just literally the rest of the heroes, like Han, Leia, Nine Num, Lando, Chewie, and Jin. And then for the villains, it's Boba Fett, Greedo, who else? Dengar, Bosk, who was completely broken. He's in the next one, but he's down to everyone else's level now. And Krennic. Gameplay-wise, for the heroes, it was pretty dull. Except for Bosk, the heroes could not regenerate. But that's why Bosk was so overpowered. He had heat vision, so you could see everyone else in your vicinity. Like, you could see all your enemies through the walls. Like, if you're playing on the Death Star, which is where he came from, that's his DLC, you could see everyone else in the room, and he had almost infinite micro grenades, and you could just hold it down, and you could be completely overpowered. Whenever I'd watch gameplay footage of it just on my own time, I would always feel dizzy after I watched someone play as Bosk, because like you wouldn't see them in normal mode. They would just always hold the radar vision, which is kind of weird, honestly, but not really. Yeah, heroes except for Bosk couldn't regenerate health. Heroes vs. Villains had infantry soldiers in it for some reason. Krennic, Leia, and the Emperor could spawn in guards. For Leia, it was the rebel guards, like her rebel honor guards. For the Emperor, it was the royal guards, and for Krennic, it was the Death Troopers. Now, the Death Troopers did reappear in Battlefront 2 as a reinforcement, but I'll get to that in a sec. It was not class gameplay. It wasn't like your standard Call of Duty game. It was more of like you could just kind of make your own character. It's basically like the build a character thing in Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. So something like that. Like you could customize your gun. There was 22 guns, and there was 22 star cards. There was like there's like 15 charge cards, which like a shield or something. And then there was like 9 traits for you to choose from, and you could mix and match them. And a couple of them were utter garbage, and some of them were really broken, and some of them were just right. Most people ended up using the jump pack just no matter what, because everyone liked to use that. The best combo was explosive shot or personal shield combined with jump pack and back to bomb, which was completely overpowered. You'd get 10 extra health. Wait, 30 extra health as an infantryman, and 10 extra health if you're a hero. That's really how it worked. The game modes like Walker Assault, Heroes vs. Villains, Blast, which is just your team deathmatch, and control points. That one, those ones and all the DLC ones were just kind of bad. Like, okay, some of them had interesting storylines, but most of them were just kind of generic. Like, they really didn't suit you that well. Extraction and Infiltration were okay. Extraction was good enough to make it into the next one, but no one plays that mode anymore, sadly. I do, though. It's actually fun. But now you have a timer. The other one, you didn't have a timer. You just needed to escort it and hope because there was a timer, but it's like, you had like 3 minutes. This one, you only have like a minute. Ooh, this is getting long, and I'm barely even anywhere there. But yeah, the gameplay was more of a 5 out of 10. Battlefront 2 had class gameplay, and, well, it still does, and they've updated it substantially, and like, you have battle point system, which is completely fair, and heroes are like a certain price, reinforcements are a certain price, everything else is a certain price, and then infantrymen, which is assault, which is completely all balanced, heavy, which is just you have a lot of armor and you have long like refreshes, officer, which is basically give everyone else, including yourself, health, and specialist, which is sniper with absolutely no health and you can get one-shotted. I'm serious. If you equip a certain sniper weapon and you snipe another specialist, it's gonna be a one-hit. Like, I don't for most video games, there's like you need to hit the enemy like 3 times for them to actually get defeated. But when it comes to the specialists, because snipers are not meant to be on the front lines, they're like one hit. Not even headshots, like anywhere, it's pretty much just one hit. Lightsabers in Battlefront 2015 were one hit and done, but now they're like 2 or 3 hits. And the gameplay overall, for now, is just a lot better. So I rate this one maybe an 8 out of 10. So Battlefront 2 takes that one. They're tied up 1-1. Oh, anyway, let's go to round 3. How did they patch their mistakes? So this one, I think there might be a clear winner because Battlefront 2015 really didn't fix its mistakes. Battlefront 2 did fix all of its mistakes, but did it in a really unique way and fixed its own mistakes, which is something that most video games don't do. I'm looking at you, Overwatch. Anyway, so Battlefront 2015, it just added DLCs which you had to pay for, which was really confusing, and there was a season pass thing which you also had to pay for. It was a lot of stuff to take in. I'm recording this near the day before the 4th of July, so sorry if you're rumbling in the background. It's not rain or anything spooky. It's just firecrackers going off. This place is really, well, I live in America. That's all you gotta know. Independence Day, everything goes boom. Yeah, Battlefront 2015 had the DLCs, and it didn't really fix its issues. It just kind of made them worse. Fixed a couple of them, but they didn't really openly fix the issues at all. It was just, here you go. We're gonna give you some new content. You're gonna have to wait like 6 months for the next one. And updates were few and far between. Like they actually were. Battlefront 2 it's fixed its mistakes better. Now I gotta rate the 2015 patches, and I'm going to rate it a 3 out of 10 because they didn't really bother fixing anything. Battlefront 2 2017 really fixed its problems. It's still fixing the problems that it has. Like, it adds new content, it buffs the heroes. If the heroes get overpowered, they instantly nerf it. If they nerf them if they nerf them into the ground, like Chewie and Finn or Phasma, they put them right back up, and and so far they've just kind of narrowed it down. But it's still the number one heroes and villains is still Anakin and Vader. It's still like that, but it's still kind of evened out. Like, you can choose any hero and you can defeat them. That's really all you gotta do, honestly. That's really what you gotta do. But yeah, I'm gonna rate this one a 7 out of 10 because updates are frequent, just maybe not as frequent as Fortnite or Minecraft. Like no one really plays Fortnite anymore, but they're not that frequent. Like, they're not almost every other week. Or they're not every week, they're like once a month, which is fine by me. But sometimes they're gonna skip a month, like in July, which I'm recording this in. They're skipping this one, so we're gonna get content as I'm recording this in August. We're gonna get a new PvE mode, which I want to see because the custom arcade isn't that great. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, for this one's offline, there really isn't anything, but the custom arcade is something that I kind of liked at first, but it kind of gets boring afterwards. Hopefully this new PvE mode does something good for me. Anyway, Battlefront 2 obviously wins that. So, it's now 2-1. Battlefront 2 has taken the lead. The Han Solo season was awful, by the way. They didn't really fix anything. They just made a couple skins and maybe a map. Well, they did. It was Kessel, but it's not even a Walker Assault. Well, not a Walker Assault. It's not even a Galactic Assault map. So, what was the point of the season, then? What is this? Round 4? Yeah, I think it's round 4. I'm gonna presume it's round 4. So, for round 4, we're gonna have, hero comparison. Hero comparison, it's fairly obvious at this point about who's gonna win this one. But when it comes to hero comparison, it's definitely Battlefront 2. Why? Because Battlefront 2015, the heroes were not that overpowered, and since they couldn't regenerate their health except for Bosk, you could just pepper them down as the game goes along with your teammates, and you can all just like camp on top of a hill, and then you see like Dengar or something roaming around in the open trying to get to cover on Bespin or something, and you're on top of a building or something, and you can just basically just pepper them down, and they can't regenerate their health unless someone gives them like a back to bomb or something. But that's kind of rare because people nowadays. Anyway, guys, do you still like this one, or should I move it? Because I kind of like this Vader collectible. I think I'm going to have to make this 10 rounds, but I don't want to, so I'm just going to mix it all in one. Yeah, so anyway, the hero gameplay, and just gameplay, even though in general, is practically that Battlefront 2 obviously seals the deal because the heroes are really balanced. So anyway, that kind of seals it at this point. It's a clear winner, and the winner, in my opinion, is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Why? Because it's just most of the time the sequel isn't better than the original. But this time, this one fixed all of its mistakes. Not all of them, but practically all of them. Like, it probably missed one here and there. But if so, it didn't even add the mistake in the first place. Anyway, the game, it still has improvements that can be done. But at this point already, it has pretty much sealed the deal when it comes to who's better of the two games. It didn't seem good at the beginning, but now at almost the end of its life, well, not even close to the end of its lifespan, it's still going. But like, since its lifespan is still continuing, it's still going ahead. Like Battlefront 2, not Battlefront 2, but Battlefront 2015 was completely done at this point. It was done within like like 2 years, and this one is going into its third. It's already gone like halfway into its third year. And Jedi Fallen Order does release soon, but since it's not online, it's not an online game mode. It's like Spider-Man PS4. It's basically Battlefront 2 is going to remain playable. And since the next gen consoles come out 2020, I wouldn't be surprised if they just bring it onto the next console. But they probably won't, because they usually don't do that. I think they're only going to do like Minecraft or something, and they won't do anything else. But anyway, what do you guys think? I personally think that Battlefront 2015 would win out. So anyway, that about wraps it up. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Subscribe to my second channel, weekly review. We're going to be posting Sunday. And so far, news-wise, we're pretty slim. Anyway, thanks for being loyal. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Das Vidania, everyone.